What's going on, everyone? So, the upcoming Scream 7. We have gotten rumors for quite some time, and then eventually confirmation that there would be a psychiatric patient that would be escaping, and Gale Weathers is expected to run that patient over. The reason we got confirmation on that is because we got set images, and in those set images, you can see the psych ward, the psychiatric hospital which they will be housed. And supposedly there's going to be an escape. They get out. Well, what is the purpose of that is yet to be revealed. That we don't know. Is it something where it's just this individual person that gets out? Is it kind of like, in Halloween where like all of them, there was an entire breakout and they're like, trying to round them out all over town. Like, how is this going to go? How are they going to approach this? Is it going to be somebody that's stalking Sydney that ends up trying to, finally escape? Is somebody, is it like that, that Omen character? The character that tells you don't go in the woods, right? Like that kind of thing. And everyone's just like, that guy's crazy. But really they're completely and wholeheartedly right. There's a lot of different directions that they can go with this. Doesn't seem to be like a big character or anything like that in the film. Seems to be a bit of just a throwaway character. But I would imagine if they're going to add something like this, it's to serve a purpose, right? I don't think that they're going to have this, psych character that's going to come in and Gale's going to run them over and it's all for nothing. It's just to have a moment or something. Like, I imagine that there's some sort of purpose, some sort of reasoning behind that. Maybe that's even the theme that kind of gets everything started, right? And somebody finds out and they want revenge again. Maybe they're going the revenge motive, right? But the big question is who is the character, right? Or the actor, I should say. Will it be a man? Will it be a woman? Will it be a teen? Will it be an adult? Right? Like, how are they going to approach this character that is supposed to be in this moment or this scene? Well, we got confirmation now about who that character is said to be. So, according to Jude, Craig Dane plays the mental patient Gale runs over in Scream 7, and then Critical Overlord, who many of you I'm sure are familiar with, says, yes, this is true. This would be Kyle. Now, we didn't get confirmation from the studio themselves, announcing who the actor is, but Jude is somebody that is known to be very reputable, and then Critical Overlord, obviously, when you it's kind of that consensus thought, right? It's one thing when one person says it. Again, always take it with a grain of salt. Things change, plans change. It's not set in stone yet, but usually it's a good sign when multiple sources, multiple insiders are like, hey, just to let you know, this is going to be the character rather than just one. Not that, even if just one does it, the right source, the right, insider, yes, it could be accurate, but this just bodes even better, right? But you see the character or the actor of Craig Dane, somebody that I'm not very familiar with personally myself. He is an older gentleman. He has been in a bunch of different shows and stuff. So he is 41 years old as of this year. He was born in 1984. And he's been in a bunch of different shows, Criminal Minds, The Ozarks. He's done a lot of little guest spots. Doesn't seem like he's done anything, heavily significant. He was the portrayal of Daniel Cullen in Criminal Minds. So again, I personally never really seen that show. I've probably seen spots here and there, but so I'm not super familiar. And when you look up his filmography for movies and stuff that he's actually credited in, The Underground Railroad in 2021. Personally, I didn't see it. Claws, never seen it. White Elephant, never seen it. Emperor, Disaster Wars. He's in a bunch, a handful of films that personally I haven't seen. And, it's not to knock on, obviously I haven't seen every movie, stuff like that. It's not a knock on him. I mean, hey, he's about to be in a Scream movie and he's done a bunch of work, regardless of how big or small. I just mentioned that because I'm not familiar with him. So I don't really have a proper analysis or breakdown on the actor. Usually if it's an actor I'm familiar with, I try to give you a little insight. Oh, he's been in this, and this is how he was, and, try to give you kind of my thoughts on him as an actor. Personally, I'm not familiar with Craig Dain, so I don't have a good or bad review on him on whether I think he can, handle the role or not. It, again, doesn't seem or appear to be a big significant role. It doesn't seem to be something that, I mean, we don't even know if he'll have any lines or not. I would imagine, because again, I don't think that this is going to be a character that's just there just to get ran over by Gale, right? There's probably going to be some type of purpose, some type of logic and reason, I would assume. And so I imagine that you're going to get, even if it's kind of a piece of they're coming type thing, right? On his last breath, it's just and it's whoa. But also, what an honor to be killed by Gale Weathers, right? Not many people can say that they've been killed by Gale Weathers, right? So, that in and of itself deserves some applauding. And Courtney Cox, right? But, I look, at the end of the day, as long as he can play the role, as long as he can fill in whatever is being asked of him, and he can execute it in a manner in which makes sense and hits, and we're all excited, and it gets across what we're looking for it to get across, whatever that is, then beautiful, right? Again, it's not something that I think is, I imagine he can handle it. He's had a bunch of guest spots. Usually, when you have that much success in shows and things like that, it's because word of mouth travels down, and it's hey, Craig Dain, he's a guy that's reliable. You can throw him in on your, on your show or whatever, and he's gonna portray whatever you ask of him. So, a lot of people have built careers in that manner. So, credit him for that. I just wish I had a little more kind of understanding on him to where I could be hey, everybody, just to let you know, right? He's gonna be great, or he's gonna be this, or he's gonna be that, right? So we'll see how this kind of plays out. But again, I imagine that there will be some type of, hopefully, again, some type of connection, maybe whether it's to the grand story of things, or if it's just to a specific moment that, this is kind of the first domino that drops and leads to all the other dominoes. I hope it's not something that's just kind of a throwaway, personally. I hope it's not something that's just again, oh, Gale's in town and she just ran over some psych patient and that's that, right? I hope it's not something along those lines, personally. I hope that there's more purpose to it, but it was just cool to kind of get a little insight on actually putting a face to, the said character. So, anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think that it'll actually serve a purpose, or do you think nah, it's going to be something that's completely irrelevant, completely pointless? Are you familiar with Craig Dain? Are you somebody that has seen him in Criminal Minds or Ozark? I've seen the Ozarks. I just don't recognize him, or I can't make the connection. So if he played a significant role in the Ozarks, then I'd probably have to go back and check it out. But whatever your thoughts are and opinions are, if you can kind of give myself and many others some insight on him as an actor, I'd love to hear it. But again, that being said, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now, subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.